Welcome back to Catterall's Corner here on Sporf. I'm Adam Catterall, this is my corner, and this is your review for UFC 266. In the preview last week, I told you that it was going to be a cracker, and it did not disappoint. So let's get into the fights. We'll start with the main event, the featherweight title. The 145-pound strap was on the line for Alexander Volkanovski and Brian Ortega. I told you it'd be a belter, and it absolutely was. For 10 minutes, it was a bit of a chess match, which I think Volkanovski was getting the upper hand of the striking exchanges. Then, in the third round, it went from 0 to 100 into the realm of Brian Ortega. Oh my days. Round of the year, the greatest round of mixed martial arts history, that's for you to decide, but it was absolutely captivating and we were all on the edge of our seats watching it. The conclusions of this fight are thus. Volkanovski is tough as hell. Ortega is tough as hell. And finally, and this is the most important point when we're talking about UFC title fights, it's not supposed to be easy to become the world champion. We've got other fight sports in this world that are dishing out world title belts like sweets. You don't get that privilege in the UFC. If you've got a UFC strap, you are the best of the best. Brian Ortega was world class in this fight. The only problem was he was fighting someone that wasn't from our world. Alexander the Great, Alexander Volkanovski, the 145-pound UFC champion. What comes next for him? Is he going to step up in weight? Is he going to wait for Max Holloway Part 3? Is it going to be Yair Rodriguez? Is it going to be Conor McGregor? It might be. For me, I would point him in the direction of Triple C, Henry Cejudo. Give him a ring, get him out of retirement, and let's put on a super fight for Alexander the Great, who can breathe through his ears. What a fight. If you missed it, make sure you go back and watch it, because it was belting. In the co-main event, it was the women's flyweight title that was on the line. Valentina Shevchenko defending once again against Lauren Murphy. And it played out exactly as I told you it was going to play out in the preview last week. Valentina Shevchenko doing Valentina Shevchenko things. I'm going to be honest with you now. It's starting to get a little bit boring. Do you remember the reign of Demetrius Johnson in the men's flyweight division that went on and on and on, and we were just looking for someone to upset the apple cart until Henry Cejudo came along and did that and breathed new life into the 125-pounders? Well, the women are kind of looking for that Henry Cejudo type character because nobody can beat Valentina Shevchenko right now. And that's no slight on the other challengers. They're all elite mixed martial artists. They're all here. Shevchenko's here. We need to find that person that's going to upset the apple cart and breathe a little bit of life into the 125-pound division. In the meantime, Shevchenko has to get the rematch with Nunes. I know that they've already been in there twice, and I know that Nunes has already won 2 of those occasions. But Shevchenko's ready now. Those 2 fights took place in her first 5 UFC contests. Since then, she's gone on this incredible run. She needs a challenge. Nunes needs a challenge. Get that trilogy on. Finally, the people's main event. Nick Diaz versus Robbie Lawler, Part 2. 17 years on from UFC 47 when they first went at it. They've obviously got a few more greys in those beards, but these boys did not disappoint. Now, I know what you're going to ask me. Did Nick Diaz quit? The proper answer is yes. But are you bothered? Come on. For 10 minutes, these 2 guys just stood and leathered the living daylights out of each other. We're not talking about 28-year-old prospects coming through telling everybody that they're going to beat the best of the best and they're going to become the next champion of the world. That's not what this is. This is the Legends League. These guys have earned their dues. Nick Diaz hasn't been in an octagon for the best part of 7 years. For him, just to make it there, to go through his own anxieties, to make it to the fight, to provide us some entertainment was absolutely top class. I got exactly what I wanted out of the fight. I got a trip down memory lane, I got a bit of nostalgia, and I left with a big smile on my face. If Nick Diaz wants to say no mas, who cares, man? Bring it on. Give me more. The conclusion that I take from this fight is that the UFC have struck a little bit of a pot of gold here. The UFC Legends League. Deal me in. For years and years and years, I've complained that the legends of this sport that have built this franchise are cast aside when they can't do it at the elite level no more. They go on losing skids and they get cut. I don't want that no more. What I want is for them to be evenly matched against 37, 38, 39, 40-year-old competitors that are also legends in the UFC Put them in the octagon together, put them on a main card, on a pay-per-view, and then give them the send-off that they deserve. Don't just cast them aside and say, thanks, see you later, there's a paycheck, ta-da. Give the fans the opportunity to say thank you for the years of service, and also give those competitors, those warriors, the opportunity to say goodbye in the place that they really want to say goodbye. Their home, the middle of the octagon. Saturday maybe have been the birth of that Legends League. Fair play to Nick Diaz, fair play to Robbie Lawler, fair play to the UFC. Deal me in for more. Before I sign off with my UFC 266 review, I've just got to highlight a fight that you have to go and watch. It was the main event on the prelims. Marlon Moraes was taking on Merabishvili. These two guys are on different trajectories right now. Marlon Moraes got himself to a vacant title shot, and since that defeat has been on a bit of a skid. And then you've got Merabishvili, who's probably the most avoided man in this particular division. He can't get the fights that his trajectory most certainly warrants. This was that fight. This was the breakout moment. And these two men might just have delivered the round of the year, and Merab might just have delivered the comeback of the year when we're dishing out the awards at the end of this 12-month period. Let me paint a picture of what happened, just to wet your whistle to make you go back and watch this fight. They come out the gate like two stallions butting heads. Then all of a sudden, Marlon Moraes lands a big left hook. The chicken dance is on for Merabishvili. He's all over the place. Another left hook, another left hook, another left hook. Any other referee at that particular point may have stopped the fight in the favour of Marlon Moraes. Merabishvili was out. He was all over the place. Then all of a sudden, he managed to get this second wind, muster some type of recovery, and finish the round playing the bongos on Marlon Moraes' face. It was absolutely sensational and a contender for round of the year. Given the first 2 to 3 minutes of that round, the in-play betting would have been off the charts for Merabishvili. And at the start of the second, he ends up finishing the fight and becoming the victor. He's now up to number 6 in the rankings in this division. Keep an eye on that guy. That performance was truly sensational. So there you have it. UFC 266 from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas is in the books, and it was absolutely what I expected it to be. Sensational. Next time, I'll be speaking to you about UFC 267, which is coming to us from Abu Dhabi. And for the first time in a long time, the UFC are doing back-to-back numbered events, because the week after, they're off to New York for UFC 268. So there's going to be some action to be calling through right here on Sporf. Make sure you come back to Catterall's Corner.